My favourite one of all is the 7 flat 9, or the diminished arpeggio used in the right context. Whenever we get a dominant 7 chord, we can do this really cool thing and play and play a dominant 7 flat 9. Now, the simplest way to attack this is to just say, okay, here's a dominant 7. For example, when we do the D7, let's play a D sharp, or an E flat, probably better to call it that. Okay, whenever you've got the a dominant 7 leading to a 5-1 basically, just take the root of it and play one note higher. Okay, so I'll give you a little example. D7 flat 9 to G minor. So watch this. D7 flat 9. Let's do an arpeggio, a D7 arpeggio, and then let's grab the 7 flat 9. Okay, and you're going, what's going to the D achieving? Well, when we play the G minor, very important tone of the G minor. So when you learn arpeggios, you'll also, hopefully learn chord tones, and it's very useful. So, great sound. Now, something we can do, take your dominant 7, go one step higher, play a diminished scale. Oh, diminished arpeggio, sorry. Okay, very, very cool. So, what that does is actually, it's a full 7 flat 9 arpeggio without the root. Okay, so the D is the root, and we're going. And that's such a cool sound. Every tone in this is neighbouring a tone in the G minor. So whenever we're doing a 5-1, take your 5 up a half step, diminished arpeggio, which you'll have to go away and learn. I'm not going to teach you today. Take D7. Although, another very helpful tip is when we start from here, look at the tones that we're using. Here's a D7 arpeggio. Here's a D7 flat 9 arpeggio. All the same as a D7 flat 9, but we take the root, we shift it up half a step. Creates a lot of tension going to our 5. All of these tones, by not playing the root, we're one step away from the 5th of G, which is a chord tone. We're one step away when we play this note. Let's just say this note. I don't want to use too many numbers and tones, it'll confuse you. This note is one step away from the G. That note there is one step away, especially going to a minor. It's either a tone to the major third of the chord, because you can do it in either context. If we're going from dominant 7, to a major, you can use it in that context. It's fine. But to a minor, I like it even better. We're one step away at this point from the B flat in the G minor. Okay, so great exercise. So from that 7, you can also build that diminished from the 3rd, same thing, or from the 5th, or from 1 fret higher than the root. Okay, or the flat 7. So, or from here. So from here, diminished. From here, diminished. Okay, so yeah, it gets a bit confusing. Hopefully you've got some background in this, and you know a few light bulbs are going off. So that's one really cool device. But just looking for that note, even so, if we're playing in F and the 5 is the C7, so we're going and we're doing a C7. I'm just trying to keep it fairly basic. We're looking for a C. Let's just grab a C sharp and see how it sounds. So, I mean, it just sounds fantastic. So, even from that point of view, Tal Farlow does, he uses this thing all the time, which is great. He goes, you would have seen me use it. So he's grabbed the G, and with the G, which is straight out of a C7 chord, up the octave, and the flat 9. And just the color there is fantastic. I love it. Yeah, so that's really, really cool. Remember that flat 9, really, really helpful, and using the diminished a half a step up, or built from the 3rd, built from the 5th, or built from the 7th of a dominant chord in a 5-1. Yeah, it's confusing. Okay, and the only other thing I want to talk about is tone targeting, I guess, which is where, let's say we take an F major scale. All right, and we want to make it more interesting. Let's say we look at our chord tones and we'll play either side of them. This is really cool. So watch this. I'm going to go F, G, B flat, back to G, G sharp, A. Okay. And you want to work it into the stronger tones of the scale, like the chord tones. That's the basic way to do it. You know, play things either side and then chromatically into it. You don't have to do it like that. You can do it any way you like. You might go. Yeah, it's really, really fun. Play a note one side, play the other, go to where you want to go. Where it gets really tasteful and where the bebop dudes do it really well is they basically use it to segue into the next chord. For example, if we're going from F to A minor to D7, let's look from the A minor to the D7. A minor. So A minor, just notes out of F major. So we're really just thinking F major. So I'm playing A, B, C, D sharp, C, C sharp, D, and that's where our D7 is. So and there I'm off. So tone targeting, look it up, talk to your teacher about it, whatever you've got to do. Listen, transcribe solos. You'll see these chromatic things happening, and you'll have a better idea of what's really happening. And the very, very last thing, coming back to arpeggios, is you've got a whole bunch of arpeggios within every box shape, and this is extremely useful. So, 1, 3. So you're basically skipping a note every time, and it also applies to chord scales. Learn your chord scales, very useful. For example, let's take it to F all the way up here. No, that's annoying. Let's take it to G. Right, let's look at a G. Let's say we're in the key of G. I'm really sorry to change keys, but I don't want to do it all the way up here. Let's say no. Okay, so what I'm doing there, I'm treating every note as the beginning of an arpeggio. 1, 3, 5. Then we build it from A in the key of G, right? So A, or within the major shape here. Even just take the shape. So if we're doing it in F, which is the key for this, you could be going F, A, C, G, B flat, D. So I'm just skipping a note within the scale. So F, no G, A, no B flat, C, G, no A, B flat, no C, D, and you see you can work this all the way up and down, all the way up the neck in each box position of the modes or whatever you want to do of the scale, and you'll see this used constantly by Wes Montgomery, Tal Farlow, you name it. It's a device. Piano players use it all the time. Up the keyboard, very, very cool. So you can do really cool stuff like not the best example, but it's those little etc. Okay, and there's a little bit of tone targeting there as well. Yeah, I know it's quite complex, and I hope I've tried to cover as many things as possible. I'll probably go away and do videos more specifically on the different things, but at least now, if you want to have a go at getting into bebop guitar, you've got this video to give you a few hints. Okay, yeah. So I hope you've really enjoyed the video, and I hope you've got something out of it. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Yeah, if you've got any questions, fire away, and of course, send me a message if you have any major questions. I probably won't be able to answer all of them, but I'll do my best. And I hope you really enjoy it. Let me know what you think of the video, and unless you think it's crap, and then just keep it to yourself. Yeah, but thanks for watching, and yeah, hope you enjoyed.